Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, just PSA, I'm outside, so any sounds of nature are authentic, and I apologize in advance for any interruptions in the background or anything like that. Also, I wanted to tell y'all that yesterday the message was actually supposed to be slightly different. The Most High told me that I actually combined two messages together, so I'm pretty sure whoever was supposed to get it got it. That's what he said. Don't worry about it. Whoever it was for, they got it. Don't even elaborate, move on. So that's what I'm doing. I'm moving forward. Now, before I was tempted to go back into the periodic table, the Creator did want me to share some things with y'all that I've been doing. I mentioned it a few segments ago. I am hosting a plant and sip, or a sip and plant. I guess that's the proper way to say it. In October, I'll give you guys more details once I have the flyers printed out. But I did want to say that this is not like a conspiracy theorist. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, right? I look at things with common sense. If they make sense, I'll, do research to see what makes sense to me. If it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, I'm from Newark. A lot of y'all know that. Whitney Houston is from Newark, right? They have this guy, a few people on YouTube stating that, this was a ritual because they have the mummies there. Y'all, the mummy's been there before her funeral and they're still there now, right? So we have to make sure that we're not just listening to people talk. Even me, I always say that. Take it to the Creator. Test the spirit. Like, if you feel something is not right, or if you feel you would like to have your own understanding, it's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And anyone who is connected to the Creator for real, like actually gifted, spiritually gifted, and they have been appointed to use those gifts for like the common people, like for everybody, this is expected. Like, you have some people who get gifts and their gifts are not particularly for the masses, and then you have people who have been endowed with certain gifts that are for people who are nowhere near them. So it's all gonna be a subjective experience. Everything that you're dealing with, you would have to take it to the Creator. This is where your discernment, your relationship, your trust, your belief, all of the things we've been discussing comes in, right? Now, I would like to say this though, because the Creator did tell me to go into the food, the plant and sip. We are going to be planting seeds. You can plant this time of the year. There are several crops that you can grow within a matter of 4 weeks, right? Some seeds can go down and come up in 4 weeks. And I'm sorry, a bug just flew on my face. Some plants are still gonna grow in the winter, so I would really like for a lot of people to come out, because we do know what's going on with the food. I'm not going to get into that. I was instructed specifically not to get into those things because they tip slightly over into conspiracy theories. And although we talk about conspiracy theories, we like to have facts, right? So it's no longer a theory once you have facts to back it up and it's proven. So I don't really like to have conversations that can't be refuted or researched. It's not just me making this stuff up, right? I'm just making the connection to the spiritual world and conceptualizing it in a way that we can have the conversation in layman's terms, because there are terms that are specifically for science, specifically for spiritualists, specifically for people who understand those realms, right? And if we started to use that terminology, a lot of people would get lost. No one would necessarily understand what's being said, right? Unless they just put it together. So we have these conversations in layman's terms so everyone can understand. I'm not using big fancy words. I'm not using scholarly dialogue. This is just a regular conversation. Again, you don't have to believe me. You don't have to take my word for it, okay? But we are going into planting our own seeds. The Creator has been actually telling me to do a sip and plant for like 2 years now. I swear, and I've been supposed to do one. The place where I was gonna do it, it got shut down. So I had to find the proper energy, the proper channels, etc., to make sure it got done. Now, I wanted to make sure we understood some things about the spirit world before we continue. People who are spiritually gifted can use their gifts for bad. Even people that can summon their ancestors, right? We talked about that. However, your own ancestors can work against you. And I know this is off of topic, but I just wanted to say that. I did that yesterday. Trust me, I don't know where this be coming from. If it was up to me, I would have certain conversations in certain ways, but the Creator is having me do it like this for a reason. I'm not a biased person, and I don't believe any and everything. So if I'm talking about it, I've done research on it. It's something that's come up already, and it's not like it's new to the spiritual community or the science community or the conscious community, right? Or the religious community. These are all communities that are already tapped in and have heard of the things that we're discussing. The only people who are looking at me like I'm crazy is the people who still living in the dunya, people who still live with eyes, for the world. You're not looking at things through a spiritual lens, right? So I think that is the part that we need to start paying attention to. Like, are we seeing things the correct way? Because we can see things how we want to see them, and then we can see things for how they actually are, for what they actually are. And I'm not one of those people that's like, oh yeah, you going to hell, but you are going to go to fucking hell if you keep doing stuff to people that you shouldn't be doing, like spying on them, spiritually stalking people, summoning spirits to attack people, sending spirits to people, the evil eye and wishing bad or ill intent on someone is also witchcraft. Okay? That's not a little innocent thing. If you know, right? But all of that was said to say that just because something is in front of you directly or looks a certain way doesn't mean that that's what it is. So I'm going to give you an example. I stay in a shelter. I've stated this before. I'm homeless. I am trusting God is taking me through all of this because He wants me to pay attention to Him, right? There are certain steps that I am to take before I get where I'm going. And that's for all of us, right? We're all waiting for these blessings, but we have to put a certain level of work in before we get the blessings. And that work is going to be different for all of us, right? So I believe initially that it was just like a fun little thing to do, as far as planting, just an event, just to get out into the community. But I'm realizing more and more what this thing is really about. If you know. Again, I'm not going to go too much into that because it's going to take me into another conversation, and we only have about 5 minutes left. And also I'm trying to stay away from anything that is going to be that problematic, even though I have already spoke about some things like that are going to be rattling and irritating and probably troublesome to some people's spirit. Those things are already at the surface, right? The deeper things we discuss are coming. we've spoke about some things, but we haven't really gone too deep, right? A lot of the things we discussed are just still at surface level. So I just want to stay on what it is that we're doing. Like, let's start promoting ourselves. Let's start really trying to listen to the Creator and what it is that He's telling us to do, because it's for a reason. We have a lot of preparation and planning to do for these next few months. We talked about the dollar, losing its value. They're stating that we're going to be using the brick, where you're going to need 55 USD to make one brick. So you would understand why you would need to grow your own food, make your own clothes, and create your own revenue. And just really, really start focusing on the Creator and where He's taking us all, because this nation is about to be brutally hit. And if you're not walking with the Creator, you're going to have a time, and it's not going to be a good one. And I don't have all of the answers. I don't know all of what's going on, but I will say, look at these movies and these shows that have demonstrated to us what the near future is going to look like. When you look at movies and they're like 2030, 2040, 2050, that's not far from now. Like, you understand? That's not a long way. You have people who have outlived the riots, and they're still here, and they can give those accounts. So hopefully, I would hope that we could have the same thing with this generation. Like, you want people to be able to live to tell the story, right? And be able to assist with creating better times. So I just wanted to make sure, like, I did say yesterday was not supposed to go like that. Well, it did, because that's how it went. There were a few things that I was supposed to say that I didn't, but obviously I wasn't, because I didn't say it. But the Creator did say whoever it was for, and they got it. Leave it alone, move forward. So that's what we're doing. So I did want to just come on and not really have anything too heavy. Just start focusing on things that you're good at, or things that you've always wanted to learn that other people can benefit from. Skills. They don't have to necessarily equate to money or finances or anything materialistic, right? Maybe these are just things that are going to assist you with survival, whatever that may be. If you know how to sew, if you know how to cook, if you know how to plant, if you I don't know, whatever your skills are, if you know how to build things, if you know how to take computers apart, if you're good with cars, if you're a good driver, all of those things are going to matter in a few months. If you don't do good with critical thinking, fast thinking, thinking under pressure, or functioning under pressure, following directions, being a good group member, you're gonna have a time, and it's not gonna be a good one. So before we end this, I do want to say, start promoting your skills to people, yourself. Start investing in whatever it is that you do really good that can help people that are not directly related to you, if that makes sense. Because I know some of the things that has been shared with me. I am never like a scary person, but it bothers me that we are living in a society where we're so comfortable with relying on a system that has failed us many times, myself included. So I've been trying to get out of the mindset of, well, if I have a job, I want to think in terms of, okay, remember when COVID happened? We might have that again, or remember, when this instance happened, we might have that again. So you just want to think in terms of state of emergency, right? Keep yourself prepared, okay? But I'm going to end it here. Stay prayed up, y'all. I love y'all. I hope y'all are getting your rest, really, because we're going to need it. Hope y'all are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea, because it's free. In a minute, we're going to be sipping everybody's tea, and it might be a good thing. Alright. But, alright, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and head up out of here. Peace.